So this is what we're dealing with. I swear, every year. Alright. Listen up, guys. I am Mrs. Sanders, and that is how you will address me during these lessons. Let's get one thing straight. Just because you're a big bad vampire now doesn't mean you can just go around and do as you please. Even with us, even with the Anarchs, there's rules. And you, all of you, are going to have to adhere to all of those rules. Don't get me wrong, these aren't like the lessons you got in high school or even in college. I will tell you how it is. I don't mince words. Because I don't care. I really do not care how you got embraced, who ended your sorry life and threw you into this one. We all have our stories, and you'll soon realize that nobody gives a shit. So please, spare me your sob stories, because I've heard them all. And at some points, you just stop listening. So, I hope we got that cleared up. Wonderful. Oh, and another thing. If you try anything funny, I will rip out your fucking heart. Alright, guys. Get out your textbooks and let's get started. Alright, everyone. Now that you'll know what the score is, why don't you open your textbooks? I don't care if you read along. Hell, I don't even care if you pass this. The only thing that I care about is doing my job, getting the hell out of here, and making sure I get to live another night. Good. Alright. Like I said, all of you, you've been embraced, sired in different ways. I don't care. It happens. It might have been shitty. It might have been the best thing that ever happened to you. That's on life for you. Now, what I'm going to tell you is some of the rules, some of the vital information that you need to know to stay alive. And yes, you can take it from me. I've been doing this job for at least 50 years now, which doesn't really tell you much, but it does tell you that I've been around long enough. Now, you Charlottes are afflicted with the Anarchs, which means two things. One, we are not the Camarilla, and B, we are not the Sabbats. Some of you guys may have heard of this. Some of you guys' sire may have told you. You might have been ghouls before all of this. But I don't really care, and I'm gonna tell you anyway. The Anarchs, the Camarilla, and the Sabbats, they're the three biggest factions that you need to know about right now. And here in Amsterdam, they're the ones that you're going to run into. I'm not the Camarilla's biggest fan, and with good reason. They haven't done anything worthwhile in a few hundred years at least. The only thing we hear about him is that they keep changing princes, and that's about it. A few years ago they changed princes again. Princes are like the leaders of the Camarilla. He used to be this guy, Ventru von Leeuwen. He was a real hard ass and nobody really liked him. And that's probably why he died again. His ghoul and supposed lover, Maria van der Hof, took over. You might have heard of her before. She has been making a bit of a name for herself lately, at least. With all the shit that's going down in the city, of course. They have a lot of rules and they believe that technically everyone is a part of the Camarilla, whether or not you like it. Of course, that's a lot of horse shit because we're not. And the Sabbat definitely isn't. The Sabbat, though, they are like the opposite. They have no rules. They just run amok. They're horrifying. The shit that they do. If you get captured by them, the only thing you can really do is hope for a quick death. Trust me on that one. The Sabbat, they are very known for their mass embraces. This is something they do in time of war, or to help with some raid or another. What they do is they find a whole lot of unfortunate losers. They suck them dry, they give them some blood, they throw them in an unmarked grave, they bury them, and then they have to claw back out. Not everyone survives even the embrace, and then there's following fights, and then they'll be tested, and most of them die within the first few nights. So be lucky you weren't one of them. Alright. I'm going to write this on my chalkboard. You can look on your book, or you can look here. Whatever you want. We are the Anarchs. We have rules, of course. We still keep to the masquerade, and the masquerade is one of the only things that stands between you and decapitation. We keep our shit secret. Don't go running your mouth about anything related to vampires. Not our organization, not our powers, not our talents, not our flaws. Nothing. If you do, you'll be caught and you will die. Pretty much everyone is supposed to adhere to the masquerade. The only ones who don't are the Sabbats, and they're very short-lived. You don't want to be a part of any of them, so keep to the masquerade. The second rule that we have, and that most vampires do adhere to, is that we don't kill needlessly. Do not go around killing the innocent. There is no need for it. And if you do, you will lose a bit of your humanity. Every time you kill an innocent human being that you give in to the monster, you lose a tiny shred of it. And in the end, there's only the beast left. And when the beast takes over, you are no more. And you really do not want that to happen, because that's just another invitation for decapitation. So yeah, don't run your mouth, don't get seen, don't kill. If it's in self-defense or if it's just a bunch of scumbags, you're mostly fine though. Then we have Camarilla. Now, the Camarilla, they think they're all high and mighty, but mostly they just sit around and pretend they're high and mighty. They don't really do anything. They're supposed to keep the peace, and their version of keeping the peace is executing someone every so often for no good reason. don't even know what to say about them at this point. And then we have the Sabbat. The Sabbat is the reason little children don't sleep well at night, because the shit they pull is fucking terrifying. Most of the Sabbat clans, like La Sombra, Tsimitsi, they are downright terrifying. There's members of every clan in them, but those make up the bulk of it. The Camarilla has a few clans, mostly the Ventru. They lead it, of course. They're also afflicted with the Tremere, which is quite unfortunate for some people. The Malkavian are a part of them, the Nosferatu. No one will miss. In the Anarchs, we are mostly made up out of Brujah, but some others tend to sneak in every so often, and that's just fine. I don't really have anything bad to say about any of the other clans, except maybe the Tsimitsi and La Sombra, and a few others. But it's best to keep your yap shut about that if you want to live. So there we have it. These are the 3 most important factions that you are going to run into. If you would really dig deeper into it, you would find that there's hundreds and hundreds more of them, but none of them really concern you at the moment. Alright, kids. I really do not have all nights to take care of you, so you're going to be assigned to mentors. Some mentors you might like more than others, and really, I don't care. I'll be one of your mentors, and you'll be assigned to them. So no trading, and no whining, and no complaining. Alright? Okay. Well, we are going to wrap up here, and then I'll divide you all up. Alright, I guess you got lucky. Name's Kate Sanders. I guess I can treat you like an equal now. Sorta, at least. I'm not teaching you anymore. We're just talking. The act that I keep up in the classroom, it's an entirely different one from what I really am. And it's probably what is needed. Most of the kids coming in there, they think they can just be the superhero, or the supervillain for that matter. The truth is, even in life, there's things that you have to look out for. So, kid, what's your name? So what's your story? Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. Most of the kids have rough stories. These things tend to not be very pretty, mostly. Myself, I mostly tell it as a funny story, but it wasn't great at the time, of course. I used to be a teacher, just like now. High school. One of my students, he apparently had a very big crush on me. You know, pretty normal teacher-student stuff. He didn't do anything about it, of course, which would have been very inappropriate, but after he graduated, apparently caught the eye of a certain Brujah. He got embraced and came back to find me. He figured, if I embrace my teacher, she belongs to me. Things didn't go as planned. You know, I don't really take well to being someone's pet. So after he embraced me, I told him the score, and I made him my bitch. He still is, even though I don't talk about him much. Don't get me wrong, it's all consensual. Enough. So, do you have things in order? There are certain things that you have to take care of. There's ties that you have to cut, which you will have to cut. Going back to your family, your friends, your loved ones, I'd advise against it, even if it weren't dangerous. Because adhering to the masquerade, you can't tell anyone ever. Because if you do, it might not just cost you your life, but once you've told as well. And then you have to make sure you get a job, a place to stay. You can't just bum around in an Anarch bar forever. Eventually they will kick you out during the day, so it's not advisable. It's pretty easy to get a job around here. I'm pretty solid with my teaching job, which is part of the reason I've stuck with it for so long, but most bars have open spaces, if that's something you like. There's a ton of work to be done. I can give you a pamphlet later. It's not like you can go to the regular job agency, but we actually run a little something for new recruits here. The Anarchs here in Amsterdam, we are pretty well organized actually, considering it's such a small city, but the Dutch origin makes sure that we like to have everything organized. And I kind of feel bad if I wouldn't, help you kids out a little bit. I had a vastly different start than most of you, I would imagine, but you still feel kind of lost and alone, and it sucks, and I get that. I should probably let you go for now, but this whole mentor thing means that you have my number, and you can text me first, and then we can call or meet up or anything. Alright. Well, you take care now. Don't get killed. And I will talk to you later.